their act together, producing a beautiful 2.5 litre 6-cylinder Vanden Plas Tourer. The chassis on this was double dropped, predating SS100 and the others at the time, to give this beautiful low-line sports car of its era, which was absolutely setting the trend for the 1930s.
Well, it looks fantastic. Now, let's have a word with the driver. May I have a word with the owner of this motor car? Do you mind speaking to us? Hang on.
How do you do?
How do you do? And your name is?
Rob Marsden.
Oh, Rob. So tell us about this wonderful car, briefly.
It's a Speed 20 SA, as the gentleman said, from 33. It's a very original car. It's great to drive, apart from the crash gearbox, which does take some getting used to. The year after this was made, they put the first production. Sorry, I pulled the petrol on. The first production synchromesh gearbox. Which
I'm the owner of a Speed 25.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I've got the easy one, yeah.
Yeah, the easy one. So it's a little difficult, but it's great fun to drive. Well, just good fun.
Well, I'm sorry that some of your celebrations have been curtailed this year, but it's great you're here. So
Yeah,
thank you very much for joining us.
Great pleasure.
Thank you. So Steve, that's the Speed 20. What else have we got coming up next?
Okay. Next in line we have, from the pre-war series, we moved on to the SC and SD Speed 20s, 2.7 litre, and this epitomises the last of the 1930s, 1940, being a 39 4.3 litre, genuinely a 100-mile-an-hour motor car in its day, and probably if the war had not come along, these would have been the car to really excel in the market at the time. This one, particularly with its offered coachwork, is fairly unique. There are only about 11 built, and I think it's 5 is now in existence. Yeah, so they're very, very rare indeed.
Let's have a quick word with this fine-looking gentleman in there. So, a very rare car.
A very rare car, and one with a full 4-speed synchromesh gearbox.
As we were just saying, the earlier Speed 20 had to do a bit of manoeuvring with the crash box, but
This is right. I don't think I know how to drive a crash box, actually.
I think you.
I need a synchromesh gearbox.
I think you need it. Yeah, but I have to say, I'm a Speed 25 man, so I'm used to it, the simplicity of the synchro box. This is gorgeous, as you say, quite a rare coach-built version.
I looked for it for 5 years because I'm 6'7", and there are very few Alvises I can get into. So when I found this, I sort of had to buy it. I believe there's only 2 surviving now.
Yeah.
One just came on auction from Toronto, and this was the only one in the UK.
Well, I was just saying to the gentleman who drove through before you, sorry that some of your celebrations were curtailed, but great you can be here at the Concourse of Hampton Court. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. Steve, so we're going a bit later now, aren't we?
Yeah, the last of our best 3, if you like, on today in our display is in fact my own car, because it's quite a rare one in the respect that Alvis got into 1955-56 with no coach builder. Mulliner were taken over by Standard Triumph, Tickford were taken over by Aston Martin, and suddenly Alvis Limited had no coach builder whatsoever. So they went back cap in hand to Hermann Graber in Switzerland, who had already built and developed a number of very pretty drop heads and two-door saloons. And this one represents a 1957 chassis delivered from Alvis Limited in Coventry over to Wichtach in November 57 and bodied by Graber, ready for going to the Geneva Salon in April 58, and it was then sold to its first owner in the end of that month. And it epitomizes really the development that occurred at that time. You see what you would define as the Ponton series of cars, where we were moving from the winged variety of cars, very separate wings, to being all enveloping, and this is really the total development. And this is what really saved Alvis, because only 2 Graber numbers after this was the first prototype that then became the TD21, built by Park Ward, which then became the TE and the TF, thus allowing Alvis to survive until 67.
Well, that's fantastic, and I'm delighted you could bring it. Well, obviously, the gentleman driving it is very fortunate to be helming your car while you're here.
They're enjoying it very much.
Yeah. So is it nice and easy to drive?
It's a pleasure to drive. It's a delightful motor car. It's easy to drive, and we are very fortunate to be able to drive.
Well, you are.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you'll be, showing your appreciation in the appropriate way to the owner of the car.
We will.
In the bar
we always
later.
do with Steve.
Well, thank you for bringing it. Thank you for taking care of this car, even only for a short period of time. But Steve, we've unfortunately had to, as you say, curtail the Owners Club celebration for this year. But hopefully you've enjoyed bringing. How many cars have come here to Hampton
Well, we've
Court
got
today?
20 cars today in total. Hoping, of course, the great thing about Alvis Limited was